6 o'clock, Monday, February 24th.
This is like much.
I'd like to bring this Board of Health meeting to order, please.
Mike, we're gonna need that anyways, I think.
I just love it, yeah.
Thank you for coming, folks. We have first on the agenda
Yes,
the
ma'am.
animal regulations. What we're planning to do this evening is to vote to form a committee, a subcommittee, I should say. And for those who may be interested, you can, sign up. So I would say, oh, yes.
So I think Bob too has spoken to a few people, and we sort of have an idea for how to go about this. I think we need to create, obviously, as Bob said, vote to create the subcommittee. And I think today's meeting is really designed not to so much hash out this regulation, or this draft of the regulation, I should say, because I think that was a big confusion in the last meeting that we had, was people thought we were voting on this draft, which is just a compilation of a lot of stuff. Half of it I don't think is any good anyways. And that's what the subcommittee is for, is to discuss this, deliberate, go through it, take stuff out, add stuff in, get rid of things, and sort of rewrite it in a way that fits the town. I think today we're going to discuss, we're not picking committee members today. I think the goal will be everybody will need to sign in the sign-in sheet as pretty usual. And then at the end of the meeting, I would say we have a sign-up sheet for the subcommittee. I have a couple of people that have contacted me that are willing, and I think the subcommittee really needs to comprise a group of different people. We don't necessarily need 4 people who are all 1 acre of land on trying to do a lot. I think we need I have a friend of mine who called me, and he's got a pretty big farm, cow farm, so that makes sense, have somebody from that walk of life. We have a couple of other people with smaller properties that we could bring them into. I think we need a group of people that comprise the different people that will be affected by this, or may be affected.
I would say that, if I may, I would say that we're here also to set boundaries for that committee. Like Corey said, there are different people that have different circumstances that are dealing with, and we have to kind of bring that together and set those boundaries as far as the regulations are concerned. But do you have anything else for me?
No, I mean, I think those boundaries and parameters are what this regulation should seek to do, are good general points to touch on, and then I think tonight's gonna be pretty quick.
Okay. So if anybody has anything to add at this point, yeah, Mike.
What's the goal? To get to fall town meeting?
Oh, okay, yeah. Our goal is to get to the fall town meeting. We're probably too late for the spring meeting, and we'd be rushing it, and it probably wouldn't work the way we wanted it to work. So our goal is to shoot and do this properly, to shoot for next fall, where we can present something to the town, and it would be more of a finished product. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think if we could get the subcommittee to form, meet every week or two, a couple weeks, hash this out in the next few months. If we could get it done by June, maybe July the latest, then we would be able to move forward and seek counsel and go through all the necessary select board and talk to everybody. Everybody would be able to look at it, feedback. If we could have a draft somewhat prepared sometime in June would be my deadline, I think.
So this is what we're looking at, and if anybody has anything to add to this right now, you're welcome to have the floor. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Linda Brown, Perry Street. So you would be then holding public hearings, and it would be advertised?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually, Mike, maybe you could answer this. Would the subcommittee's meeting be live broadcasted as well? Would those have to be subject to that as well?
Well, you got to at least have minutes taken, but you could have live meetings if you wanted to. It would just, you'd have to get a hold of people.
Do they have to be?
They don't have to be as long.
Usually have recorded meetings. We
What's that?
don't broadcast live unless it's selectmen, but you usually would have recorded meetings. They just wouldn't be broadcast
Yeah,
live.
we would
They'd
have
be
that.
Recorded and broadcast.
They would have to be recorded as
Thanks, Sarah.
subcommittee. Thank you. All right, that was my question.
Yeah, she bailed me out.
All right.
Anyone else? Yeah, Mike.
Just to point out this, so the subcommittee is just going to be an advisory committee to the Board of Health. The Board of Health ultimately is going to put together,
Right.
finalize the draft, I should say.
Right.
Finalize the draft. So you're trying to get a rough draft as close as possible from the subcommittee, but then the Board of Health is going to go through their process to refine it the way it's a workable document.
Right.
Seemed like based on last meeting, there was a lot of interest on having input into it, and so
Yes.
rather than us come up with something and then put out, and then people not like that,
Right.
maybe we go the other way around.
Have them make it.
Have them start there, and then we vote on with the end product, or close to the end product.
Yes, yes.
Well, this is why I think if we shoot for the fall town meeting, we're going to be in much better shape to present something good.
Yeah, like Dick said earlier, we haven't had an animal regulation in town for a long time. Granted, that has created some problems for the Board of Health and for the animal inspector and some other people. But yeah, I think the need for something on the books is there and is important at this point. I guess we've reached the population density here where apparently that's become a thing now. So I guess that's where we're at. And something comprehensive that makes sense for everybody would be the goal. Yeah, I think Dick has offered to scribe at the meetings. I think we should have a board member present to facilitate the meeting, not necessarily be there, but just to keep the meeting on track and keep these subcommittee happenings like going in the right direction. As I said, I think we need a variety of people on this committee, and we can't have 20 people in a room. Too many cooks spoil the pot, so I think we discussed 5, possibly 6. I think once you get up to 7, you're starting to have too many people. I think 7 would be the absolute max, and I would even hesitate there. I think 5 or 6 is more than enough people to form this sort of thing. Now, granted, like I said, as long as we don't have 5 of the same sort of genre of people, I think we're...
Right, you can go, I think you can go too much or too little.
Yeah.
And I was thinking myself, I was thinking 5, because I think we can accomplish what we've set out to accomplish with, not too many people on the committee, because once it floods with people, then all different kinds of issues and different kind of, we're getting away, in other words, from what we're trying to do.
Now, the next thought was in order for us to sort of pick people to be on this committee, we're going to need a working list, and it would be good to have a little bit of information about those people. For instance, what is your interest in this regulation? Yes.
What you could do is use the boards and committee application form. You can get it from Lisa Freeman if you don't have access to it. Use that because it gives you information, your background, and why you want to be on it. All the information will be on
That's
that
perfect.
form.
That's exactly
It's a
what it
real simple form to use.
All right.
And then I have just a question about the mechanism to get it out to people in the town. So I appreciate the interest in having, the subcommittee and people signing up, but how can we make it equitable that people can more, that everyone is aware that this is going
If you check with Lisa Freeman, she can put it on the website for us.
Perfect.
Or for you guys.
And then with the deadline?
Also, anybody that's associated with posting on Facebook that enjoys that could just put it on all the Douglas pages.
There you go.
I vote
Things seem to spread pretty good that way, I guess, don't they?
Corey, Linda had a
I
question.
have a question. You had mentioned that Douglas hasn't had an animal regulation in a long time. So we've had one before.
There's one on the books, a pig one.
Yeah.
Can't have more than 4 pigs on less than 3 acres.
So we do still have that. It
That
is, so it's not like it's,
That is the only regulation that has anything to do with animals. I mean, besides
Dog lice.
dog license and those type
okay,
of
so
things.
we've never had one for chickens and horses and goats?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. There's been nothing.
But we can answer questions about the pigs.
Right,
Was there a
We can answer the question about
Yeah,
the
do we have a
pigs.
pig problem?
right. If there's a pig problem,
Answer.
we have one rule. So,
I think that was the biggest impetus for the whole thing, is that we just don't have anything, and
Yeah.
therefore, when people are calling up saying, what are the rules? There are no rules,
no.
pretty much.
Most complaints would fall under a nuisance violation of some sort and would be investigated in that way, I would assume, at this current point. Yeah.
What are you looking for as far as the demographic for the subcommittee? More importantly, how many livestock people are you looking to
I
add?
think we need, a horse person, horse people. We need a horse or
That's a good term.
horse person or two,
Crazy horse people?
Right,
Yeah,
a couple,
that'd be more accurate.
couple crazy horse people. Maybe a cow guy or two, small goat person, a backyard chicken farmer,
I think it would be helpful if you had somebody that didn't have animals at all.
somebody that with no animals.
Yeah.
When you're trying to capture, not to
Put 'em
penalize
round it
anybody,
out.
just trying
Right.
to come up with some.
One or two
guidelines.
people that have no interest in keeping animals or something would certainly be an important member of that.
And I think it's, I'm more of those people, but I also have, I think, enough space that if somebody who wanted me had them, it wouldn't be a super huge problem, but I think it would be more pertinent for somebody who lives on, near C, like somewhere in town where it will be a,
Right, somebody who's possibly affected by their neighbor's animals.
right, that's why, yeah.
That would be
I
an
don't have
important
a-
piece.
I don't know. So
Right, no, I think it's important to have somebody who doesn't have a dog in the fight or a horse in the race to be on the committee.
Or
No, I-
Good one, Corey.
Yeah, the puns are good. I got a brain full of them, but, I certainly think that would be great. And I think that's why that paper that tells us a little bit about the person, what they're doing, what their interest is, why they'd want to join, maybe what they have at home, if anything, exactly why. That's a huge piece. And then at our next Board of Health meeting, we can certainly go over those and discuss them. We would have access, we can look at them before the meeting, have an idea of 5 people that we would like to choose to try to do this and go through with it. I think that would be a great way to go about it. I wish we had that paper right now, we could hand it out now. Unfortunately, I don't think we have copies of that in hand, so. We'll have to.
I have a key to the office, but I'm not going near that desk.
I'm not touching anything in there, nope. Nope.
So I think those of you that are here this evening, you know what we're looking for, you know what we're setting out to do. And if you're interested, you follow that procedure, go see Lisa over here and sign up yet, Mike?
Yeah, if you could reach out to Lisa and get that form, right? And put a link to it on the Board of Health website,
Okay, yeah.
then anybody can grab it.
Okay, that's
So
good.
I can talk to Lisa tomorrow, but Kristen that is out this week.
Right.
So she,
Yeah,
But Lisa might be able to help you with that. Ask
I'm
Lisa.
not sure if she has access to the Board of Health website,
Right.
but just general.
Yep.
I'll check.
But she can put it on this one now, and then
I'll check with her tomorrow.
hopefully things work out. Kristen's back next week.
good point over here. We should probably have a deadline to sign up, in other words, so. whether it-
When's your next meeting?
It would have to be before the next
Probably
meeting.
in about 2 weeks,
In 2 weeks?
probably about 2 weeks.
So just put in 2 meetings out.
Okay, yeah.
We don't have another.
So by the next meeting, you're going to have more thoughts internally in your group that you're going to discuss.
Right,
And then
right.
by the second meeting, you should be ready to
Right.
launch it, all right?
So if you're interested, come on down.
Because that'll give you 3 months to
Yeah.
do their work.
So I guess first, we need to vote on making the subcommittee, then we need to sort of decide when our next meeting's gonna be, and then we'll put a deadline to it. All right, so I guess I'll make a motion to form a subcommittee to help create a draft for an animal regulation for the town of Douglas.
Okay, we have a second on that? Okay, have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is passed. And
Now we need a date. So we got 3 is next week, that's a little too close. 10, 17, 17 is St. Patrick's Day. I don't know if that matters to anybody.
well, hey, don't go that far.
I'm a little Irish, but I don't celebrate. So I don't know. 24th, we can go 24th, 17th. The 10th might be a little too tight too, so I'd say the 17th or the 24th, go 24th. All right.
What about the rest of us?
24th.
Or the 31st too. We got the 31st too, 24th,
Won't be
31st.
on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to be like from the 20th.
Okay, so what is the one, what's before that?
The 17th. Yeah,
March.
yeah, we did, yeah.
I could do the 17th, I don't know.
I mean, we either go sooner or later there. 17th or 31st.
17th and 24th.
17th
We'll
or
go for the 17th then.
You want to shoot St. Patrick's Day? That doesn't hold anybody up.
Because I'd really like the
Does when
subcommittee
animals are not
to be formed,
Yeah.
as soon as we can.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So are you going to appoint the people on the 17th, or are you going to appoint them on the 31st?
Do you want to hold?
Do you need time to discuss,
I was thinking,
just for everybody here so they
I
understand?
was thinking by that time, we would have people who are interested.
Yep,
And then we could look them over and discuss the,
Why don't we do that? Why don't we say that the applications would be due by the 24th, and we have a meeting on the 31st, and that gives us a week to compile them?
Or maybe we have them do. Maybe we have the applications due in the next 2 weeks. I mean, they don't. People will know 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That way, it'll give us a
I only
week.
need 2
A
days.
week to view.
What's that?
Who do you pass it into? The secretary's on vacation. Right, the secretary's on
But
vacation.
someone will get the office.
Yeah, somebody will be.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thanks.
The officer will be open.
Okay. So do we want to have the meeting on the 31st? Is that what we're going for? That's. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks out.
how's the 31st?
Yeah, and you can squeeze your 2-week deadline.
Okay, 31st it is,
So the 31st instead of the 17th?
31st.
Yeah.
31st will be the meeting. All right. So 3.
are you doing the 17th, Corey?
No, that'll be the Board of Health meeting. That's when we'll decide on who. Let's make the applications do the, what do you think, like a week or two, the 14th maybe, 10th or 14th? The 14th would be the Friday.
Why don't you do Friday, by close of business Friday?
All right, March 14th. We'll call them do, which would be the 13th, I guess, because the office is closed on Friday.
Yeah.
Will we be able to email in the application as well?
You can.
Okay.
Yes. I can give you the email. The Board of Health.
Is there a digital copy of that form?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they'll get it from Lisa tomorrow, and there'll be a digital copy.
Okay. All right, then, yeah, I mean, 31, we'll make the applications due 3/13. Applications due. And then we'll look them over, and like I said, I mean, I think as, we don't need 3 horse people. Not all 5 members have to be the people who would be the most effective, so I think if we get a good variety of people hopefully signing up for this, we'll be in good shape. The variety is going to be the key, so, having a little bit of everybody talking about this is going to be the most
If I
important
could-
part.
I have a question. Actually, you really shouldn't have 6 on the subcommittee because if they vote on something, it could end up a tie.
Right.
So your best is 5 or 7.
Larry said,
Yeah.
good call. Yeah, maybe.
5, you only need 3 for a quorum. If you go with 7, you need 4.
Right, right.
It's a lot easier to get 3 people.
Yeah.
On capital, I need 5. It's very tough.
Right, right. Now, would a chair or a scribe count as, those wouldn't count as necessarily committee members, would they?
But no, they'll be part of the committee member if Mr. Skinner's just going to take minutes, then he's not part of the committee. If he's going to be part of the committee and take minutes, that's all we're going to figure out as to how you're going to do it. Now, you keep referring to yourself as being the chair. The committee's going to, the committee will decide who they want for a chair and a vice chair on it.
Yeah.
To go through that process.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might not need.
It might be helpful for you if you don't be part of it, because then you're more effective on this board because you're not on that one, on that committee. Just a suggestion.
Would the animal inspector be a part of the, like, in the meetings with the subcommittee? Because I feel like they also oversee everything, apparently.
Currently, I don't know what's going on with our animal inspector. Last meeting was
Yeah.
kind of threw a question mark up. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. I haven't been in touch with him either. And Kristen's been pretty busy with some
Well, I
stuff.
think that what happened is he kind of, he resigned from the position, so.
Did he officially?
He's still helping, but, he's just not on call. That's really temporary. He's not that working, just
Yeah.
set hours for us.
Having a subcommittee independent of you guys
Board.
is going to be a lot more helpful for you.
Yeah.
Because then, like even with the animal inspector was a good question, but keep that person separate from it, because then they're not pulled into what you said during the meeting. It's a lot easier if you just,
Yeah.
the subcommittee's only going to recommend to you guys, and you're going to figure it out. They're just
Right.
doing your homework to help you get to a deciding point, that's all.
Right, right. And some of the key questions are, how much land, what's the space requirement? That's a huge one, apparently, according to me from last meeting.
That's what you're going to task the subcommittee
That's-
with, right?
that's what
They're going to
yeah.
figure out what the density needs to be and different things like that.
Numbers on.
Yeah, like is it 1.5 acres, is it 2 acres, is it
Number of
0.5?
chickens,
Is it-
calves,
right.
whatever, like, part of me is like, I don't care what the rules are, but we just need to have something so that we can say, it's this.
Right, with or without a permit, like at what point do you need a permit? Like Mike was discussing with me, at what point do you need a permit? What point do you not? It's
I think that's one of those things.
yeah, yep,
You won't get a headache if you just task the subcommittee with it. You
Right.
just step back and let
us know- let us know which
them
one.
do their work and come back to you.
Yeah.
so I would say we would need also probably something to give the subcommittee as a sort of guideline of what the goal is, to have that land amount figured out, to have a density figured out, like how many animals per acre would you think is too much? I mean, because there certainly are, like, you can't have 10 horses, 20 goats, and 50 chickens on 1 acre, you just can't fit them enough.
Yeah.
So at what point do you reach that? And that would be the subcommittee would have to figure
Yeah,
that stuff
instead
out.
of guide them into that, I would give them a list of your concerns if you have any.
A list of
Right?
concerns.
So,
That's
a list of
perfect.
concerns, and that way they can address it however they address it.
Perfect way to word that, a list of concerns. I mean, and these are all concerns that have been, these are the reasons why this whole thing is prompted anyways, were these type of concerns. So having a subcommittee kind of make those decisions.
It's going to help you.
Right, huge.
You have enough on your agenda now. This gives a separate committee a task.
Right.
It's not unusual. This happens on a lot of different things.
So the next meeting then, we should be prepared with a list of concerns. We should be reviewing all applications, which will be due March 13th, and we'll be able to form that subcommittee on the 31st, I think. Good, right?
Yep, yep. So we're all into the 14th and the 31st.
I have another question. At the last meeting, you had mentioned that this is all because there's been a bunch of complaints. If you could let the subcommittee know, if you remember any, what the complaints were. Were they all about chickens? Were they all about just pigs? And what the complaints were. Were they about smell,
Come back for the, but she was probably.
chicken coop too close?
Yeah.
I know a couple of stories, she told me.
Right.
She'll know them first.
No, we have to document.
Generalized noise, smell.
That's what my comment was, or suggestion was to you about your concerns, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to just identify what you have concerns in from the Board of Health.
Right.
As to what you want them to look into.
Right.
If I'm on if I'm on the committee, I have no interest in trying to target somebody or a particular.
No, I'm not
group.
saying
No, but,
names.
no, I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
but a group of animals or whatever. I don't like pigs, so I'm gonna go after everybody with pigs. I think that just it takes away from it.
Yeah.
I think by you giving your concerns of, these are the areas that we're burdened with the most with the Board of Health.
Right.
Can we look at that and see if there's a way to reasonably regulate it, to be fair with everybody across
Right.
the board, that's all.
So Mike, you're thinking things like acreage minimums, maximum number of animals, constitution of nuisance and violations, permits, question mark, census, animals, all
If
these.
those are your concerns, you put them down. I'm not thinking of anything,
Question.
right? So you have to go into the subcommittee, you got to go into it with a pretty open
Right, just
mind.
kind of
and try to
bulletize
come
list
to
of
it,
here are the
right?
things that we're
But-
thinking.
But if you have concerns with those, if those have been your challenges,
Yeah.
just make sure the subcommittee has it so they can consider those things.
Right, right. Perfect.
Because you're going to consider them when they come back. So if
Right.
they've never been addressed.
Right.
Right.
It's going to be a waste of time for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, those concerns, right, those were the things that prompted this are the things that need to be addressed the most, so,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing else?
Well, that's it. I mean,
I will
Just a
never
motion to-
copies of the applications in the office of someone wants to stop by. They're open until 6
are
p.m.
there any other I'm sorry.
That's why I also close.
Are there any other questions out there? Or, no?
So maybe,
Do we have a,
maybe tomorrow, we can have, you think you'll have that, you'll be able to talk to Lisa tomorrow? and
Yes,
we'll-
I'll take care of it.
So very quickly, we'll have a copy of forms in the office ready for you.
When is the next meeting?
31st.
first of March?
Monday, last day of the month. 13th will be the, when the applications are due. Applications will be due the 13th. That'll give us 2 weeks to look them over and sort of pick our 5 people. We can each do it independently, and then we can come to the meeting on the 31st and decide on the committee members and the list of concerns, finalize a list of concerns for them.
Yes.
Hi, Dallas, U Street. Would the select board be able to bring up the option of forming an AgCom? We're one of the only towns who has all these animals who doesn't have an AgCom, and typically they're the ones who handle complaints, and that's who people tend to go to first. Would also help build a lot of trust between people who own animals and the town. Instead of the Board of Health having to deal with everything, the AgCom could be developed to be the first point of contact, and also all those educational resources we talked about last time, that would be where those could be housed.
It's something that I think we could look into. I don't know if, I don't know exactly how we would form that.
That'd probably be a selectman thing, right?
Yeah, to me,
Yeah, if it was formed through the selectmen, I don't know how that would be handled. It could potentially, because a lot of it becomes either a zoning or a Board of Health issue, or animal control. Those 3 different things. I don't know if they would necessarily form something to be outside of those, because now you're taking responsibility from those 3 different
Yeah.
towns.
Yeah, I wonder if in other towns,
But it's something worthwhile looking into. That
If an
I'm saying that it's a bad idea. I just don't know if they would go in that direction.
yeah, with the AdCom committee in other towns, does that report to the Board of Health?
Don't know.
I wonder.
Yes.
They do
They do.
generally? So it's sort of a subcommittee of the Board of Health, and at that point, right? They're reporting to the Board of Health.
And the AgComs are all independent, so they set their own rules, their own responsibilities. It's not a state regulation at that point, it's what the town decides is best. There's a little bit more freedom there.
And that's pretty much what they're doing through this process.
Right, just
Pretty much be the
for
subcommittee.
further,
But that'll, right, a continuation of the subcommittee essentially, is what you're suggesting.
so, to me, it sounds a little bit redundant, especially where, what we're trying to accomplish here right now is very much what you're speaking about, actually.
Once this piece.
I'm not saying it's something that we shouldn't look into. That's not what I'm saying. But, yeah, it's it's something that we may be interested in doing.
I, sitting on the Board of Selectmen, would be hesitant to form a committee that doesn't have, that would oversee something with no regulation. So I think the first step would be to get some sort of regulation in place,
Right, right.
see how that works out. If it becomes, if it's still an issue, look into something like that. I have no idea how those are structured, so.
Yeah, me either.
Yes, sir.
Jesse Halter, U Street. In the last meeting, if I remember correctly, there are several people that were suggesting we create, maybe it's a dedicated website for animal that had all the like useful educational information available. Whether I think it was Bay Path Horse Riders Club said they have a lot of resources. There's websites they could link to that would have, so that kind of thing I think accomplishes what she's asking as well. And then if Kristen is the primary point of contact, you can point people that direction. If there are other people that are volunteering for those kind of educational services, you could list all those. The town could have a dedicated animal agricultural resource contact list or something like that, or you can sign up for that. Maybe anyone that has experience or has been operating, if they want to volunteer, they could possibly do that. All kinds of stuff like that could be. There would seem to be an outpouring of educational resource needs, and people were saying we definitely should improve that in the town.
Right, I think we should
I think that
add that to our Board of
I think
Health
that
page.
accomplishes a lot of the downstairs
Website.
as well.
Those type of links and that information should be there on that town website somewhere. I think what we need to do is, maybe that's part of our concerns from the subcommittee,
Yeah,
comprise
resources, education, reach.
comprise a list of links or, you know, a small, it doesn't have to be a huge list, 10 different resources that people can contact. You know, there should be some easily found information.
Okay, we, I have a motion.
I think,
You already formed the subcommittee, so I think you're good.
Yeah, we do the agenda, right?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Yep.
seconded.
Well, that's not
All in
really.
favor?
Aye.
Meeting